Hey everybody, how's it going? Let's talk about your home recording studio. Or I guess, let's talk about my home recording studio and what the heck I've been up to since I've been gone kind of all this time. I think we're approaching the, 250-day mark since I released a video last time. And, I just haven't really been in the creative mindset for a while. And as you kind of look around behind me, you might notice like I'm in a new place right now. Yes, for the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4th time since I started the channel, we moved to a new house. And there's going to be a 5th move actually coming up at some point here, hopefully within the next several months. Yes, so we left the Denver metro. We were in Aurora. And after a while, we just kind of got fed up. There's 500,000 people in that suburb. It's noisy, it's congested, there's a ton of traffic in that whole metro. There's crowds, there's expense, there's pollution, and we just kind of got fed up with it. So I got set up to be a fully remote worker at work, and we moved to Kansas. And we're currently in eastern Kansas in a small town, and we're renting this place. And we're actually gonna move out of this place here before too long into a much more permanent, hopefully permanent situation. So my studio room here is considerably smaller. I just didn't want to, after dismantling that studio, my gear collection has grown so much since the last time we moved. It had grown considerably since the time before that. Honestly, with a kind of short-term rental, or not short-term, but in a year of renting, we're kind of stuck in this state of we're kind of moved in, we're kind of not. Don't want to go too overboard on tucking everything away and finding a place for everything. Just have to turn right around and, pack it all back up and move it again. So we're kind of in this arrested development phase right now that I'd figure we'll probably stay in until we get out of this rental. So I picked kind of a survival kit, so to speak, of stuff to just get some basic recording done. I haven't really done a whole lot of recording here. I'm mainly just working and just kind of getting to know the small town and the people in it and what all is around us and available to do. But let's take a quick look around, and I don't know, you might get a kick out of it, and kind of going back to basics here. Let's take a look. All right, so we'll just kind of start at the door and walk in here. I did bring all of my guitars. I did not want to leave my guitars in storage. We didn't end up with a climate-controlled storage place, so I got some of them here. Some of them are still in boxes upstairs. But hey, at least those came with me. That's kind of nice. But you can kind of see, like, it's not a super fancy room. It does have the drop ceiling. That acoustical tile is surprisingly good for acoustics. And I haven't put any acoustic treatment or anything like that up. And I am not going to. Number one, I don't think that I could locate it at all in storage. And number two, I can't find my monitors either. They're locked in storage. So I'm mainly just using headphones if I want to listen to anything better than I bought these Logitech speakers. I highly do not recommend those. They sound awful. But it's better than trying to use headphones turned up really loud as loudspeakers. So what all am I living with here? So as far as a computer, I have a Microsoft, what is it, a Surface Pro 9 kind of laptop all-in-one thingy. And I've got it going to a docking station, and it's kind of dark, it's back there somewhere. And that's driving a couple of monitors, display monitors, and my goodness, the 8 gig of RAM in this laptop does not give it much leftover video memory to drive displays. I've got them downscaled to 1080p, and it's just barely hanging on for life. Actually, I'm not even sure if you can see that. It's probably blown out. Yeah, there we go. And, just at baseline, not running any applications or anything, yeah, we're using about 80% of my RAM just sitting there. So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. But I've been loving using the UA Volt 476, just full time. I just keep getting more and more impressed with it every time I use it. Started getting along with the built-in compressors more than when I did my review of it. For headphones, I'm just using Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. It's just a good all-arounder, great for tracking. And then a MIDI controller, so I can play some drums. I brought a couple of microphones. Actually, I brought all of my microphones, but the only ones I have out, I've got one of the AKG C414. Those are the XLS, which I adore these things. And one of those things, like if you've got it, of course, you're going to use it. But I've got a U87 AI. Amplifiers are all unused. Yeah, you can't really see out the window. It's kind of washed out there, but the neighbor's house is very close. The insulation in this house is terrible. It's a very old house, a 100-year-old house. And I have a feeling I would be on a first-name basis with local law enforcement if I plugged in or turned on any of my amplifiers in this room. So doing everything direct. I've been using Easy Drummer and what is it? Scuffum amps, S-Gear, which I got with I got it for free with one of my RME interfaces. That, and then that Ampeg thing I think that I got with the UA Volt for a bass amp. So between all of that and a couple of plugins, a couple other plugins, like, yeah, I think that's everything I need. I haven't been really writing much, but I've been trying to get back into the swing of things. And, you know, when you haven't done it for a while, it's like a muscle, right? You've got to exercise it. You're going to be kind of weak when you get back to it. And that's pretty much where I'm at now. So I'm just kind of trying to force myself every once in a while, just create something. It's gonna be terrible, but just create for the sake of creating, write for the sake of writing. And hopefully after enough repetitions, then it kind of starts to come back, get a little easier. And, you know, I can express myself a little more easily and completely. But I've mentioned a few times that we are renting this place and that we're going to be moving into a more long-term situation. And I tell you what, so right now I'm recording on a very portable setup. This is kind of a test run to see if this would work in the first place because I want to go on a field trip. I don't think we've ever taken a field trip on this channel before. But I have a EcoFlow Delta, what is it called? Like a Delta River, just a little battery power bank. I've got my Sound Devices MixPre 6, which is what I've been recording audio on this channel for a long time now. I love that thing. And then a little single channel Shure wireless. But what do you say we take a little field trip and we go visit where I will be making music eventually, all right? Let me get all this stuff packed up, get it in the truck, we'll drive on out there. See you in a bit. Okay, here we are. As you can tell, the place is kind of a fixer-upper. You know, we got a lot of natural light, but the HVAC, the climate control pretty much sucks, and really the acoustics suck so far too. But hey, you know, we're splitting hairs here. No, and as you can see, we're building a house, and we're in the rental in the interim while this house is underway. So all we have so far is just concrete. And where I'm standing right now is my future studio. Yes, I'm gonna have my own built from scratch home recording studio, which is gonna be amazing. We'll take a look around here in a little bit and share some details about what I know so far. So this is really my first opportunity since the basement floor got poured to actually walk around down here. And what we're looking at here, let's go up on this ledge. And what we're looking at down here is my future studio. So this entire section is not gonna be studio. Let's see if I can take a guess here. So we've got this center line, this center expansion seam in the concrete, and I know my studio is wider than that, so maybe if I take a couple of big steps over, about here over is going to be studio. And the reason this dips down here another 2 feet, so this part of the basement is going to be mainly storage and you know, stairs and everything, but this is going to have 9-foot ceilings. And 9-foot ceilings in a basement, that is just opulent. I mean, I've never lived in a place like that. But this goes down another 2 feet. And so my studio is going to have 11-foot ceilings, which is just mind-boggling. I can't even picture it yet. And so the dimensions, 11 feet tall by roughly 17 feet and some change wide by roughly 25 feet and some change long, are very intentional dimensions. And while it's still going to be a big rectangle, a big cuboid, is a cuboid a rectangle? Is a rectangle a cuboid? Anyways, geometry aside, those dimensions fall into a set of ratios that are very desirable, that are hopefully going to sound great and be easier to control and treat with acoustic treatment. So I am looking forward to it so much. Yeah, I just kind of want to go walk around over here, and so we'll come down from the stairs, from upstairs, right about here, and I'll walk down the corner, you know, walk around the corner. I have a couple of stairs here to descend, and then that'll lead me to my studio room. Okay, so amongst all the piles of dirt, what we have here is 4 acres, 4 acres of land. And so there's a street right here, and we're on a corner lot. So there's another street on this side of the property. And we're about 3.5, 4 miles outside of town here. And the town that we're outside of is pretty small. It's about 12,000 people. So even being in town is nothing on the scale of living in, you know, north side of Kansas City or in Aurora in the Denver metro. So we're opting for that country life. Moving to the country, gonna eat us a lot of peaches. These woods here, our property goes into the woods a little bit. I couldn't really take much of a guess on how much square footage or acreage is in the woods, but maybe about a 1/4 acre, maybe 1/2 acre. And you know, the 2 property lines come to a point out there somewhere. So yeah, a little ways back in there is ours. I'm not gonna go walking through the tall grass because I've already found out the hard way. We've got chiggers out here, and I don't really care to repeat scratching the improper areas where those things find to bite you. Got the old farm fence. This was all, you know, being Kansas, this was all farmland. And that's one last remnant of the old farm fence. Actually, hey, I got a zoom here. I can zoom in a little bit for you. So a little bit of the old farm fence. Also, I hope that the reverb from down here is coming through because it really is kind of impressive. I wish that I could take an impulse response of it, but there's just enough ambient noise between cicadas and dogs, and we're a little bit south of Interstate 35, like about a mile, 1.1 mile or so. And if I'm really quiet, I can just hear it, like just hear it. But it's so wonderful and quiet and peaceful out here. And after 5 years living with a 6-lane, essentially highway in our backyard in Aurora, this is just such a wonderful change of pace. Okay, yeah, so that was hopefully an interesting look around. But as this project kind of keeps going, I'll keep you all updated. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot fun to see months probably before we get far enough in the process to end up with some framing and walls and everything in the studio to even look at. So in the interim time between now the time that we're ready to move in here, and I can make all the fun content of setting up a new studio and doing acoustic treatment, doing all the testing and all the, hooking up new gear, experimenting, doing all the fun stuff. Until then, I'm in that little room, kind of cramped with a bunch of stuff, and with a pretty basic complement of gear. But hey, really, when it comes down to it, isn't that really all you need to make gear, to make music? Is a microphone or two, an audio interface, a computer that can run a DAW and some plugins, some instruments, a MIDI controller. I mean, that's a pretty full complement of gear. And I've gotten so spoiled with my absurd over the last several years. I've kind of lost touch with just, going back to the basics. But I think that is just about it. Honestly, I'm about to cook in the sun here, and I'm getting hungry. I'm going to drive back into town and go get myself something to eat at one of our local pizza parlors, have nice ice-cold beer, and enjoy it. So I think that is going to end up doing it for me this time. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all again next time.